Hello viewers, today we're going to take a look at my Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway D9-44CW freight locomotive. This engine was built in 1994, I believe August 1994, and it served for the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway, and it serves on BNSF today. This is an HO scale model, so it's a little bit on the small side, but it's got a lot of nice details on it. And I went and customized it a little bit, make it a bit more realistic to look more like the real thing, which these engines are just absolutely incredible. Like the Dash 9 was literally one of my favorite locomotives ever since I first knew about them. This engine is quite special to me because it's actually the first Santa Fe war bonnet I ever got that was actually a GE locomotive. The rest of my war bonnets are EMDs. And this thing is a really, really nice engine. Unfortunately, I bought it used, so I was expecting some damage, which we are going to take a look at that. Even though there are some imperfections, you know, we can't judge a book by its cover. So I'm not going to judge an engine by its imperfections. From what the seller told me, unfortunately, one of the kids got a hold of the engine and they accidentally dropped it, which caused quite a bit of damage to the front of the locomotive. But overall, this thing's in really good condition. And I have used it quite a bit. You can see we got some natural weathering starting to occur. But even today, like, the actual engine is really heavily weathered. But to have it looking like brand new, absolutely, I'll take it. I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the front of the locomotive. As you can see, this thing is just absolutely beautiful. Even looking at the detailing on the front is just absolutely phenomenal. Definitely a 10 out of 10. And look at that nice war bonnet right there. Unfortunately, like I said, because I bought it used, there is quite a bit of damage to the front of the locomotive. But eventually we are going to get that fixed. But this thing is absolutely beautiful. Like, even the details here, they had to be separately applied. I had to apply them separately, which is a total pain in the butt, but it worked out super well in the end and resulted in a very detailed and realistic looking engine. One of the things I do really like about this engine is if you look at the windshields here, you can see how the wipers are actually built into the windshield itself. They're molded in, which I think is a super nice add-on to have. Even separately fitted wipers would be cool, but to have them molded in, that still gives it quite a bit of detail, makes it look good. So you can see here, we got a beautiful front headlight here, placed exactly as on the real locomotive. See, you got your two sandbox fill holes here, since the sandbox is in the front of the locomotive. And if we look down here, you can see we got some really nice fog light details. They're super nice. Now, unfortunately, everything was applied, so I'm going to have to get some parts for it. And like I said, we're going to have to restore the front of the locomotive because, unfortunately, the front here had seen some damage. So we're definitely going to have to fix that up. But overall, I definitely give a 10 out of 10 for details, especially with them having to be separately applied. And here's a better look at the war bonnet. If you guys want to get a nice close-up shot there, definitely feel free to pause the video. The locomotive does have a cab interior, which I think is just absolutely phenomenal. I like when these engines have a cab interior. It just makes them look so much more realistic. You know, it definitely adds on to the look of the locomotive. Definitely makes it one of a kind to have in your collection. I'm going to go ahead and show you that cab detailing here on the inside. You can see I got a really nice cab interior. This is just absolutely wonderful. You can see the conductor's console right there, which I think is super cool. You can see you got your seats inside as well, and you even got your dummy seat that you can fold down for a third passenger in the cab. I think it's just super cool. And even if we look at the engineer side here, you can see we got some throttle detailing on here, which I think is super cool. You know, you got your horn, you got your bell, you got everything you need. It's just super cool to see that. Now we're going to take a look at the conductor's side here. You can see it's just as detailed. I think it's super cool to see this type of detail on the inside of a locomotive like this in such a smaller scale. I think it's incredible. Even the dynamic brake grids here, you can see I've customized them a little bit, made them a bit more realistic, so they definitely look, you know, very realistic, which I think is awesome. And a lot of the grills were actually separately applied, which I think is super neat. That's definitely what it should be. This grill here was pretty much molded in, but even looking at the molding here, it's just super well done. And you can see I went and made it look very realistic. And then looking towards the back, you can see here I did some more customization a little bit, make it a bit more realistic. But if we look at the radiator, the grills were separately applied. The radiator grills were separately applied, which really makes this thing stand out. So you can see here we got all separate grills, which I think is just absolutely phenomenal. It looks just like the real thing. Even if you were to see this thing out on the tracks, you know, from above, definitely super realistic. And even the other details here, like your safety treads for while you're working on top of the locomotive. You got grab irons up here. And even just on the top here in general, you can see that the detailing is just absolutely phenomenal on this thing. It looks so realistic. This is a Kato locomotive. It's probably why they're so detailed. It's made by Kato. And this is just super awesome. Even up on the cab, you've got to do some work up there. You can see we got some really nice safety tread details here, which I think is great. You got your typical C44-9W details on top. The number boards are separate. I had to put those on as well, but they do look beautiful. They look just like the actual engine, which makes this thing even more special. And you can see a little bit better in the interior there of the cab. So, looking at the side here, we also got some more separately applied details that I had to put on. You can see here we got like the it looks like we might even have some separately applied. I'm not sure. We'll have to take a better look at this when we do the first service on it. But you can see here we got some separately applied grills, like that bottom one right there. Also, I had to apply the brake wheels separately, but luckily it came with pretty much everything. Like I said, I still got to get some parts for it, but I'm not too worried about that. We can definitely fix this up. The exhaust stack was also separately applied, which is a really detailed GE exhaust stack. And even if we come down here and you look at it from the side, it's super detailed. This is exactly how it looks in real life. So definitely a very good 10 out of 10 for detailing on this locomotive. The rear is in pretty much mint condition. It's in really good shape. There are a lot of nice details on the back too, and there's some that we're going to have to separately apply when we do get the parts for it, but who knows when that's going to be. But like I said, really nice rear detailed guardrail, you know, definitely really nicely detailed, and I think it's incredible that these are just as detailed as the real locomotives that they represent. Even the dynamic brake grids, absolutely very realistic. This is just absolutely incredible. I only paid about $150 for this, and you can even see here, it's just very realistic. Even if you look on the engine here, you can see on the engine doors, you got realistic looking engine handles. So definitely a 10 out of 10 for detailing. You know, overall, I give this thing a 10 out of 10. I have ran it. You know, this thing runs super well. And I am super impressed with the performance. I got this thing to pull lots of freight cars with ease. And this is a wonderful locomotive. I'm super happy with it. You know, I definitely recommend it. And if you're a big Kato fan like I am, be sure to buy more of their products. Because over the next few days, we're going to be taking a look at some products, and we'll set up the test track and maybe we'll run this thing up again for you guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And one more thing before we close out the video I forgot to mention was the truck details are absolutely wonderful. You can see here you got like your roller bearings on there, which I think is super cool to have. The side frames are super detailed. You know, I had to apply separately. We got brake pipes, we got hoses and everything. We even got struts on the truck, which I could show you that here. Yep, this thing is absolutely wonderful, and even detailed brakes on the bottom, super detailed. You got your sand pipe right there. And a pretty detailed fuel tank too. You know, you got your fuel fill right there. You got your fill hose. You got your fill hole. You got your air tanks right here. This thing is absolutely detailed. And even you got another fuel fill over here, so you can fill on either side. And another very detailed fuel gauge. So like I said, thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And we'll see you next time.